So, welcome back to video number 3 of how to use your massage gun on yourself. My name is Dr. Michael Weir and I am a chiropractor, and just about on a weekly basis, one of my patients asks me, hey, I got one of these really great massage guns. I love it. Feels so good, but I'm not quite sure I'm using it right. Can you teach me how to use it? So what I wanted to do was create a video series that taught everyone how to use their massage guns and get the most out of them. If you haven't subscribed or hit that bell notification for my channel, do so now, because again, I'm going to be releasing videos. Our last video was in the foot. If you haven't watched that, go check that out here right now. Today we're going to focus on the lower leg and the calf, and then we're going to go all the way up the chain. So make sure you don't miss one of the videos that we release here, because we're going to go through the whole body. Now, in video number 1 of this series, I taught you how to use each individual tip, what the tips were called, and the process and philosophy that we do. So if you haven't seen that, go check out that video now. Come back to this one after you have a good basic understanding of what we're doing. But if you've watched that one, we're going to jump right in here to the lower leg and the calf muscle. So calf muscle, beautiful muscle, really helps to push the foot down. This muscle gets into trouble a lot with runners. We're going to have a lot of problems for people who are sitting at desk jobs too much with their toes pointed. But you'll get a lot of tension within that muscle. Also, those with Achilles problems typically have too tight of calf muscles and the gastrocnemius muscle. So as with each one of the muscle groups, we're going to start with the ball tip. And we are going to do the relax stage first. So put your tip into the gun. We're going to turn it on and we're going to go at its lowest setting. Now, the calf we're going to divide up into 3 sections. We're going to divide up into the inside, straight down the back, and the outside of the muscle. Now for this, I like to do a little bit of a different grip. I like to actually hold the gun upside down. Holding it here, you just don't get as much control, but if you kind of hold it like so, you get a better control with this. And all you're going to do is you're going to run it up and down the inside, maybe 10 or 15 seconds, maybe 10 or 15 passes up the muscle. And then you're going to come up the back of the muscle, and you're going to work all the way down the Achilles towards the heel. Now, again, you don't want to hit the heel. If you do so, it'll hurt. It'll start to bounce around. You don't want to do that. Stay off of that heel bone. But you want to come up as high as you can, up towards the back of the knee. Now, the other area you want to avoid and be careful with is right up into the back of the knee. There's a lot of vessels and nerves back there. You're not going to destroy anything by doing so. It just won't feel super comfortable, so you want to be careful back there. So you just come back and forth, up and down, again, 10 to 15 passes. And then lastly, that outer portion, I'm going to switch hands here. Outer portion of the calf, 10 or 15 passes. Now, if you'll remember from our last videos, the relaxed stage, it should feel really good. It should feel just calming. We're just trying to get the muscle to relax. But we're also investigating. And what that means is we're looking for areas that are more tender or more painful than other areas. And a lot of times what that is those are called trigger points. Now, again, as you're doing this should be comfortable. It might be tender, it might be fairly uncomfortable, but it shouldn't be sharp stabbing pain. If you're getting sharp stabbing pain, stop, consult your physician, make sure there's nothing else going on within that muscle group. But once you've found a tender spot, and generally speaking, a lot of people will have those kind of right in the belly of the muscle, right about there. And that's where I have my trigger point today. So what you're going to do is you're going to get in, and we're going to move to the release stage, where we're going to use the bullet tip. Now, a lot of people won't be able to tolerate the bullet tip. So if you can't tolerate it, it's too much stimulation, back off to the flathead tip. But for our purposes here today, I'm going to use the bullet tip. And if you remember from video number 1, turn your gun on. We're going to turn it to its fastest setting. And we're going to sit right up on top of that trigger point. Woo, that's a good one. We're going to do that for 10 seconds. Now, you shouldn't have to dig with this. This isn't like more pain, more gain. You let the percussion and the massage do all the work. But you hold that for 10 seconds. Then turn your machine off. Back off to the second setting, the second highest. the second slowest, if you will. Same thing, sit right up on top of that trigger point, hold it for 10 seconds. What we're trying to do is we're trying to untie that knot. We're trying to release the tension within that knot, within that trigger point, which again is a mini spasm within the muscle. 10 seconds there. Then lastly, turn your machine off and go to setting number 1. Back onto that trigger point for 10 seconds. That's the release stage. Pretty easy, pretty straightforward. Turn your machine off. Then we go into the reset phase, so the reset stage of the muscle. And I'm going to use the sponge tip. Love this tip. But if you don't have this one, the ball tip also works really, really well for this. And what you're going to do is you're going to set your sponge tip into your gun. We are going to go to the lowest setting or the slowest setting. And what you're going to do is you're going to run, again, along each section, side, back, and outer portion of the muscle. And you're just going to go up and down. But where this gets fun is we're also going to add in movement. You're going to point your toe, bring your toe back. Point your toe, bring your toe back. And how this works is you're going to start at the bottom of the muscle, and you're going to slowly work up the muscle while pointing the toe, and then back up, bringing the toe up. And you're going to go back and forth, moving through that. You do about 10 passes, and then move to the back of the muscle. 10 passes. We're going to switch hands here to get to the other side, and same thing here. We're going to point and back up. Now, this takes a little bit of practice to get used to and getting the coordination of moving two things. It's like patting your head and rubbing your tummy, right? And we just want to kind of get a good movement. And what that does is it resets the patterning of how that muscle works in coordination with the foot and how it's controlling that. A lot of times when we get these knots or we get tension in the muscle, not only does it hurt and it's stiff, but it won't move or coordinate the way that it's supposed to. The reset stage just helps to coordinate that muscle and do what it's supposed to do. So that is the lower leg, that's your calf muscles, and how to use your massage gun to work on your own calves. If you got any questions, drop them in the comments. Again, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do so now. We're gonna move on to the upper leg in our next video, so you won't wanna miss that. Check that out. We'll see you on the next video.